Julia Roberts, George Clooney, and Jimmy Kimmel just hit Donald Trump with the worst news possible. So this isn't the first time that Jimmy Kimmel, Julia Roberts, and George Clooney have stood up to Trump. In fact, they have an entire history of attacking Trump and defending democracy. I mean, look at this. This is from People magazine. And it says, Julia Roberts stands behind student fighting for LGBTQ rights under Trump. I want all students to feel safe. In 2016, when Donald Trump was elected, it was not unclear if he was going to be for or against LGBTQ plus people. He had said that Caitlyn Jenner at the time could use whatever bathroom she would want in Trump Tower. But like all things, he very quickly changed his tune in order to maintain political power. And so this was a beautiful moment for Julia Roberts that, you know, though it wasn't overtly at Trump, it was very much so in defense of a student who was being attacked by Trump. And George Clooney, for his part, has been much more aggressive when it comes to Trump. George Clooney condemned Donald Trump when January 6th happened. He said it would put the Trump family into the dustpan of history. Now, that may not be true. I think my hope is that in November, that name is 100% put into the dustbin of history. I hope George Clooney is being a little bit of a psychic, because as of right now, it seems as though when it comes to Republicans, at least, Donald Trump is invincible. So my hope is that George Clooney is right here. And after Trump went after the quote unquote Hollywood elite, George Clooney very simply went, F you. And of course, people in Hollywood know Donald Trump. They've known him his whole life. He has always been an outsider looking in. I think things could maybe would have been a little bit different if Donald Trump would have just won an Oscar or a Golden Globe. He just has always wanted some sort of recognition. So he is well known in Hollywood spaces. I mean, George Clooney even remembers Donald Trump saying, which cocktail waitress is single? He asked that. Jimmy Kimmel has gone nuts on Trump for the past 8 years. In fact, Trump even tweeted, is it truthed? Whatever he says. And I'm sure you remember this, the most recent feud they had was just over on the Oscars when this happened.
You know, doing this show is not about me, and I appreciate you having me. It's really about you and Emma and all these great actors and actresses and filmmakers. But I was told we have like an extra minute, and I'm really proud of something. I was wondering if I could share it with you. I just got a review, and has there ever been a worse host than Jimmy Kimmel at the Oscars? His opening was that of a less than average person trying too hard to be something which he is not and never can be. Get rid of Kimmel and perhaps replace him with another washed up but cheap ABC talent, George Slopanopoulos. He would make everybody on stage look bigger, stronger, and more glamorous. Blah, blah, blah. Make America great again. Okay, now, see if you can guess which former president just posted that on Truth. Anyone? No? Well, thank you, President Trump. Thank you for watching. I'm surprised you're still watching. Isn't it past your jail time?
And that brings us to today, where this devastating news has come out that Jimmy Kimmel, George Clooney, and Julia Roberts are hosting a $28 million Los Angeles fundraiser. $28 million. This is the highest and biggest fundraiser for a Democratic nominee ever. Quote, this is the largest Democratic fundraiser in history. And let's just say it, Joe Biden, when he raises this money, he doesn't have to spend it on lawyers or sexual assault penalties or staying out of prison. No, Joe Biden can spend this money on doing the good work to get elected. And yes, there is going to be tons and tons and tons of money when it comes to this cycle, and neither candidate will be suffering from a lack of funds. But I think on the margins, these things are really lost on the margins. Presidential elections are typically always very close. I really actually hope and wish that this one wasn't. We kind of know everything we need to know about Trump to know that he is not a good person, let alone someone we want leading our country, someone we want our children looking up to. That aside, at least when it comes to this money, there is, when things are so close on the margins, it could really be very meaningful that Biden is able to raise all this money. He's able to spend all this money. Now, this is a couple months old, but I don't think it's not in line with what's still happening. Is that, look at this. Look at this. Biden and Trump. Biden is spending nearly, someone do the math. That is, what is that, 4 or 5 times more than Trump online? And why do you think that is? It's not because they're not raising enough money. It's because Donald Trump and the campaign and the RNC are required to spend the money that they get donated to for Donald Trump's legal fees. And so this is kind of like one of those things that no one's really talking about. I wish the media would focus on more, but Donald Trump is handicapped by his criminality in a way that we've never really seen before. He's not able to give 120% of his attention to his campaign. Not all of his money is going to his reelection effort. It's going to his stay out of jail effort, which, by the way, has failed.
Guilty, 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 guilty.
And Biden, in his part, is able to spend, and they are spending very wisely. I think there's a lot of people that wish that Biden would be ramping up a lot faster, but I do think that there's going to be a real sea change between what we see in June when the debates happen, which is in, oh my gosh, less than 2 weeks. And then I think it's going to be a real before and after, before the debates and after the debates. But know this, the Biden campaign is running at full steam ahead. This attack from George Clooney, Julia Roberts, and Jimmy Kimmel is only further proof of it. And the fact that Donald Trump has to spend his money to stay out of prison, and he might actually have to host the RNC at Mar-a-Lago due to house arrest. I saw that today. So this is not a campaign, the Trump campaign, that is not a campaign running very efficiently. And I think when things are so close on the margins like they were last year, and unfortunately they're going to be this year, I do think that this sorts of thing is the sort of thing that when you look back after the dust has settled, you'd be like, oh, it kind of made a difference. Donald Trump had to stay out of jail, and it actually kept him out of the White House.